Hello dear students, in this video we discuss some of the theorems and properties of cosets. Recap. You recall the definition of coset. So if H is a subgroup of the group G and let A belongs to G, then the left coset of H in G with respect to the element A is denoted and defined by AH is equal to the product AH such that H belongs to H. Similarly, the right coset of H in G with respect to the same element A is defined and denoted by HA is equal to the again product H into A such that H belongs to H. And we define the right congruence modulo H on G like this. If H is a subgroup of the group G, the relation right congruence modulo H on G is defined to be A is congruent to B mod H if AB inverse belongs to H, where A and B are any two elements of G. And we can show that this relation is an equivalence relation. Equivalence class of an element A. Equivalence class of an element A belongs to the group G with respect to the subgroup H of the group G is denoted and defined as equivalence class of A is equal to, you collect all the elements of the group G such that that element must be congruent with the element A, that is set of all X belongs to G such that X is congruent to A mod H. Session objective. So in this video we shall discuss some of the properties of cosets in the form of theorems. Okay, theorems and properties of cosets. Let us see the first theorem on the cosets. If H is a subgroup of the group G, then the right coset HA is equal to equivalence class of an element A belongs to G, that is HA is equal to A, like this. Okay, in order to prove that HA, the right coset, is equal to this set, we have to show that HA is subset of A and A is subset of HA. Okay, in order to prove that one set is subset of another subset, you take one element from the left set and show that the same element is also available in the another set. Then we say that the first set is the subset of the other. Using the same concept, what I do is I am going to take an element in the equivalence class of an element A, that is X belongs to equivalence class of A. By definition, which implies that X must be congruent with A under mod H. This implies by definition of equivalence relation or equivalence class of A, we see that X into A inverse belongs to H, which implies that X into A inverse must be in the form of H1, where H1 is an element of H. So now you post multiply with A, so that here we get X A inverse into A. X into A inverse into A is identity element. Identity element into X is X itself. Therefore we get X is equal to H1 into A. It is the product H1 into A, therefore it must belong to the right coset HA. That implies that X belongs to HA. So we have seen, or we have taken an element from the set A and we have shown that the same element belongs to the right coset, which means that this A is subset of HA. Okay, you call that as 1. Now you take an element from the right coset. So let Y belongs to HA, and you show that the same element is also available in the equivalence class of A. So for that I have chosen an element A belongs to HA. That implies that this element not A, Y belongs to HA. That implies that Y is equal to some H2 into A for H2 belongs to H. So therefore post multiplying by A inverse on either side, so we get Y into A inverse here is equal to H2 into A inverse is identity element, so identity into H2 is H2 itself, therefore we get H2 here, so where H2 belongs to H. which means that this y inverse A belongs to H, as H2 belongs to H, therefore y into A inverse belongs to H. So therefore by definition of equivalence class, we see that y is congruent to A mod H. If y is congruent to A mod H, means y belongs to equivalence class of A. So we have chosen an element y from the right coset HA, and we have shown that the same element is available in the equivalence class of A, which means that HA is subset of A. Okay, you call that as 2. So therefore A is subset of HA, on the other hand HA is subset of A, which means that from 1 and 2 both are equal, that is HA is equal to A. This is the first theorem. Now we shall move on to the second theorem. It is an important theorem. We use this theorem many times while proving the next upcoming theorems. If H is a subgroup of the group G, then the right coset HH is equal to H, and it is also equal to the left coset HH when H is an element of the same subgroup H. If H is a element, small h is an element of the subgroup H, then the left or right coset with respect to the element is equal to the subgroup H itself. This is what is the theorem we are having. The proof goes like this. So we have chosen an element H from H. Okay. So now what I do is I am going to take another element H1 from H, which means that H1 into H belongs to the right coset HH. It is the product H1 into H that must belongs to H into H, the right coset. Now H1 belongs to H, we have taken here, and it is given H belongs to H. So therefore using the closure property, what we can say is H1 into H belongs to H it is. You call that as 2. So now observe 1 and 2. This element H1 into H belongs to the right coset. The same element also belongs to the subgroup H. Therefore what we see is this, the right coset H is subset of this H. Am I right? Yeah. Now call that as 3. Yes. So now in order to prove the reverse, that is H is subset of HH, I take another element, say H2 belongs to H, and I call that as 4. Therefore this H belongs to H, it is given H belongs to H implies H2 into H inverse also belongs to H. This is because I am using closure and inverse law also. Okay, so this H belongs to H implies H inverse belongs to the same subgroup H, and using the closure property H2 into H inverse belongs to H. This means that H2 H inverse into H, I am going to take the product now. The product of an element H2 H inverse into H must belong to the right coset H into H. Yeah, using the associative law, now we can write this term as H2 into H inverse H belongs to the right coset, but H inverse into H is the identity element. Identity element into H2 is H2 only, which means that H2 belongs to the right coset HH. You call that as 5. Now observe 4 and 5. H2 belongs to H we have taken, and we have proved that the same element belongs to the right coset. Therefore from 4 and 5, this H is subgroup of subset of this HH. Okay, so now observe 3 and 6. From 3 we have right coset is subset of H, and from 6 H is subset of the right coset. Therefore combining 3 and 6 we have HH is equal to H. Okay, similarly we can show that this H is also equal to the left coset HH. The left coset HH is equal to H. This is possible only when this small h is an element of the subgroup H. Okay, we shall move on to the next theorem, theorem 3. If H is a subgroup of G, then the right coset HA is equal to the right coset HB. HA and HB are the two right cosets with respect to the elements A and B. Okay, if they are equal, if and only if AB inverse belongs to H. Similarly, two left cosets are equal with respect to two different elements. AH is equal to BH if and only if A inverse B belongs to H. We shall prove this one. So first I will take up this condition. If HA is equal to HB, let us assume that the right cosets HA and HB are equal. Then obviously A belongs to HA. this right coset HA contained in this element A contained in the right coset HA, which is equal to HB, means that this element A belongs to HB. So if A belongs to HB implies that element must be of the form some small h into B for H belongs to H. That implies post multiply by B inverse. Post multiply by B inverse on this. So we get A into B inverse here, that is equal to, here what I get is HB into B inverse. B into B inverse identity into H is H itself. Therefore we get AB inverse is equal to H for some H belongs to H. So H belongs to H implies this element AB inverse must also belong to H. This proves the first part of the proof. Now we shall move on to the converse part. Conversely, let us suppose that this element AB inverse belongs to H. AB inverse belongs to H means that AB inverse must be of the form some elements IH which belongs to H. That implies, so now post multiply by B. Post multiply by B, we get here in LHS AB inverse into B. So we get B inverse into B, we get identity element, so we get A in LHS, so we are having A, that is equal to H into B. You call that as 1. So now what I do is, I have to prove that HA is equal to HB. How do you show that those two sets are equal? So for that what we have to show is, you show that one is the subset of other. Okay. To show that one is the subset of other, we have to take one element from the first set and show that it is also available in the second set. So for that I have chosen one element from HA. That implies that that element X is equal to some H1 into A, where H1 belongs to H. That implies X is equal to H1 into, in place of A from 1, what we can write is H into B. Okay. Yeah. Next, X is equal to, using associative property, we can write this as H1 H into B. Next, H1 into H. H1 into H is equal to, this element H1 into H belongs to the subgroup H, because both H1 and H are the elements of H. Using the closure property, this element belongs to H. So therefore, this complete element H1 H belongs to the right coset HB. So therefore, we have chosen an element from HA, the right coset, and we have shown that the same element also belongs to the right coset HB. Therefore, what we can conclude is, this right coset HA is subset of the right coset HB. So now we shall prove that this HB is subset of HA. So for that we need to take one HB. Okay. So also it is given that AB inverse belongs to H. AB inverse belongs to H implies that its inverse also belongs to H. AB inverse whole inverse. AB inverse whole inverse is equal to nothing but, it is B inverse into A inverse by reversal law. So we can write this as B into A inverse. B inverse is B only, and A inverse belongs to H. So therefore BA inverse must be an element say H, where H belongs to H. So post multiply by A, and we take this condition as B is equal to H into A. We call that as 3. So now I have chosen one element from HB, that is X, and X belongs to HB implies X is equal to some H2 into B, where H2 belongs to H. So now in place of B from 3 we can write HA. So therefore we get X is equal to H2 into HA. Using associative law we have write this. We can write like this, but H2 into H is an element of H, therefore this element must belongs to H into A, the right coset, which means that H belongs to the right coset HA. So therefore this HB is subset of HA, you call that as 4. So therefore from 2 and 4 we have seen that HA is equal to HB. Similarly, we can prove that the left cosets AH is equal to BH if and only if A inverse B belongs to H. Next, theorem 4. Any two right cosets or left cosets are either identical or disjoint. Two right cosets are either identical or disjoint. So in order to prove this, proof goes like this. Let us suppose that H is a subgroup of the group G. I have taken two right cosets, HA and HB are any two right cosets of H in G, where A and B are the elements of G. We shall show that either HA is equal to HB, either HA is equal to HB, or their intersection HA intersection HB is empty. There is no element common. Suppose if I assume that HA intersection HB is empty, then there is nothing to prove. Proof is over. The problem arises only when HA intersection HB is non-empty. Let us assume that HA intersection HB is non-empty. Then we need to show that in that case the right cosets HA and HB are equal. For that, what I do is, you take an element D from HA intersection HB. Obviously we can choose an element from HA intersection HB, as HA intersection HB is non-empty. I have chosen an element D. D belongs to their intersection means it must belongs to both. Therefore D belongs to HA and D belongs to HB. So D belongs to HA means it must be of the form H1 into A, where H1 belongs to H, and D also must be of the form H2 into B, where H2 belongs to H. So therefore D is equal to D here. Therefore their RHS are also same. Therefore H1A is equal to H2B, and pre-multiply by H inverse, H1 inverse on either side of this one, pre-multiply by H1 inverse. So we get H1 inverse H1A is equal to H1 inverse H2B. So H1 inverse H1 is E into A is A. Therefore we have A is equal to, and using associative property here, H1 inverse H2 into B. Therefore H into A, the right coset H into A can be written as H into, in place of A, we write this element H1 inverse H2 into B. So therefore this is H into H1 inverse. I am using associative law here. H into H1 inverse of H2B. Next, you see this H into H1 inverse B can be written as H. This is because this H1 inverse is an element of H, and using the theorem 2, if any element H belongs to H, then right cosets or left cosets defined with respect to the same element of the subgroup must be equal to the subgroup itself. So therefore, if H1 inverse belongs to H implies this coset must be equal to H only. So therefore, in the bracket what we have here is, I have written it by say H and H2 into B. Again H2 is the same element of the subgroup H. Therefore this H into H2 can also be written as H by using the same theorem 2. Therefore we have HB. So therefore at last we have proved that HA is equal to HB. Therefore the right cosets are equal. Theorem 5. There exists 1-1 correspondence between any two right or left cosets. 1-1 correspondence means we have to show that there is a function from any two right cosets or any two left cosets that that function is a bijective, that is both 1-1 and onto. So for that the proof goes like this. I have chosen one subgroup of the group G, H is the subgroup of the group G, and I have chosen two right cosets, HA and HB are any two right cosets of H in G, where A belongs to G. So I define a function f from HA to HB by f of HA is equal to HB. Clearly f is well defined. We can show that f is well defined. And now we shall show that f is a bijective function. So for that we have to show that first f is 1-1. How do you show that the function is 1-1? To show that the function is 1-1, you choose two images are equal, and at the end you show that the elements are equal. So for that we have chosen two images, f of h1a is equal to f of h2a. So that implies by definition f of h1a is h1b and f of h2a is equal to h2b. By using the right cancellation law, we have h1 is equal to h2, and now multiply a on either side, so we get h1a is equal to h2a. We have shown that taking f of h1a is equal to f of h2a, that is equal to, that implies h1a is equal to h2a. Images are equal means elements are equal means f is 1-1. Now we shall prove that f is onto. So for that we take one element from codomain, say HB. I have chosen an element y from codomain. That implies y must be of the form some small h into b, where h belongs to h. So therefore there exists an element HA belongs to the right coset HA, that is the domain, such that f of HA is equal to HB. This means that every element of codomain has its pre-image in the domain. Therefore F is onto. So therefore F is both 1 1 and onto means F is a bijective, which means that there exists 1 1 correspondence between any two right cosets. Similarly, we can show that there exists the 1 1 correspondence between any two left cosets. Last theorem. There exists 1 1 correspondence between the set of all right cosets to the set of all left cosets. So the proof goes like this. I collect all those left cosets in the set L, and I collect all the right cosets in the set capital R. So L is the set of all left cosets and capital R is the set of all right cosets. So now I define a function f from L to R by f of AH is equal to HA inverse, and clearly we can show that f is well defined. So we have to show that f is a bijective map. So for that, what I do is I take images of two elements are equal. F of AH is equal to f of BH, which means that by definition HA inverse is equal to HB inverse. Post multiply by A on either side. So we get HA inverse A is equal to HB inverse into A, but A inverse into A is E into H is H only. So I get H is equal to H into B inverse A. So which means that if this is the right coset, it is equal to the same subgroup, means that this element B inverse into A must belongs to the subgroup H. This is by using theorem 2. So B inverse A belongs to H means its inverse also belongs to H. So therefore B inverse A whole inverse is by reversal law A inverse into B inverse inverse. B inverse inverse is B only. So A inverse B belongs to H it is. So A inverse B belongs to H implies that again by using the theorem 2, A inverse BH is equal to H only. So therefore using pre-multiply by A on either side, we get A of A inverse BH is equal to AH, and using associative law here we can write this as A inverse is equal to BH, but A inverse is E into B is B only, so we get BH is equal to AH. So what we have chosen here is images of two elements are equal. F of AH is equal to F of BH, and at the end we have shown that the elements are equals. BH is equal to AH or AH is equal to BH, which means that F is 1 1. Now we shall prove that F is onto. So for that you take one element from the codomain. Okay, codomain HA belongs to R. The right coset belongs to R. So HA belongs to R means that that element A belongs to G. If A belongs to G, its inverse also must belongs to G. If A inverse belongs to G means the left cosets with respect to this element is A inverse H. That must belong to the set L, set of all left cosets, such that the image of this element F of A inverse into H, by definition it is equal to H into A inverse whole inverse, that is equal to HA, which is equal to the element we have chosen from the codomain. This means that for every element HA of the codomain R, there exists an element A inverse H in the domain, such that image of this must be equal to the element we have chosen in the codomain, which means that F is onto. So therefore F is a bijection from the set of all left cosets to the set of all right cosets, which means that there is a one-to-one correspondence between the set of all left cosets to the set of all right cosets. Hence the proof. Thank you.